Hey,
Hey, just so that you know, I'm not gay or anything.
this is Grindr, my guy.
I guess people who are lactose intolerant can't walk down the fucking dairy aisle? I'm just looking.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast streaming live on gaytalk20.com/live stream. We normally start at 6. Today we're starting at 5:30 because, 5:30-ish, because we can. And because it's too hot and we were just like, oh my God, let's get in the studio a lot faster than 6. But anyway, but we're here. We're about to do another show for you. My name is Tom. I'm your host. And as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all, Nick or Trish.
And
J Bear, aka your boyfriend's boyfriend.
all right, and welcome you all to Gay Talk's Dish. Before we get started, that opener has got to be one of the most hetero openers we've ever done in our lives. Like, what the fuck? I wasn't a part of that.
That was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine literally somebody on Grindr being like, just so you know, I'm not gay or anything?
Oh, yeah, no, no, honey.
I guess people who are lactose intolerant can't walk down the fucking dairy aisle. I'm just looking. For a dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can be bi, you can be pan, but you're definitely something.
Oh my God. So yeah, so that's that. And then, it's like,
I mean,
and then you show up at the studio with a New York Yankees hat on. This is the first time I've ever seen you have a hat on, period.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a hat before.
Yeah, no, I was actually wearing a hat pretty much the entire time I was in Florida.
Proud of you.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, keeps the sun off your face.
Yeah, and you don't have to do your hair.
Oh, that's what it was. So he was in Florida, and so all that, craziness, all that Republican craziness started rubbing off on you. That's
It's a
what
gay
it was.
hat.
It's a gay.
Well, true, it is. Did you wear that one?
No.
No. Which one did you wear?
A red one.
No, it was white and green. It was my sister's Lush hat.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you were promoting her bar, basically.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, since we're here and we're about to jump into, our weeks, because it's been weeks, our apologies. Last week we didn't do a show. Nick went to Florida and got stuck there. And Jay and I decided to go to get some Mexican instead of recording a show. So, yeah, we went to dinner and drinks. And
On Wednesday, though.
Monday.
Was it Monday?
it was Monday, yeah.
Monday.
Oh.
It was definitely Monday.
That was my return. My return to work from the weekend at Rochester.
Yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a lot to unpack in regards to travel. So why don't we start with you, Trish? You were gone for 2 weeks. How was your
I was gone for
a week
under
and
a week.
half?
No, it was under a week.
You were supposed to come back on Monday, and you ended up coming back Thursday.
Yeah.
You
Well,
added
things
4
happen.
days.
Yeah, things happen.
Okay, so how was it?
It was a week. It was definitely a week.
Okay.
So I went to Florida to see my sister. She was having her gender reveal and all of that, which was great.
Oh, so we can officially talk about the fact that your sister's pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook, so.
Yeah.
So she's having a little baby girl.
Another girl.
I know.
Another girl.
I know. I thought it was going to be a boy.
So I texted you earlier in the week. Well, not this week. I texted you late last week. And what did I say to you?
I don't remember.
If you bussets keep going the way you are, the busset name is going to disappear. Because you're having all women.
I know.
And, unfortunately, in the patriarchy society, women get married and they have to take their husband's names.
So I'm going to have a gender reveal if I ever adopt. But the gender reveal is going to be more like, what culture are they from? Because I'm going to adopt.
Okay. You seriously are going to adopt?
Maybe.
God, I hope not.
If I meet somebody.
I would
maybe.
feel really bad for that child. Adoption agencies, don't do it.
Oh,
Wow.
I ain't saying a word.
That was hurtful.
I'm just saying, it's like,
We can't deal with two of you.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
you make a very good point.
Baby be like, man. Won't even cry right.
Poor child will be running around 100%.
100%.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
You have a duty diaper? 100%.
Are you hungry? 100%.
Daddy won't change my diaper.
100%. Because I don't do shit.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Anyway, so overall, was it relaxing for you?
Not really.
Do tell.
Okay,
Do
so long story short, we went to leave on Monday, and there was a slow leak in my rental tire, and so I missed my flight.
Of course.
But all that to be said, so we flew in, we arrived, and I go to the rental place, and they don't have the right car that I,
Had reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want a convertible or something?
No, I just wanted an SUV that's like a mid-size SUV.
Right.
So they gave me a 4Runner, and those things guzzle fucking gas. And I get out to the car, it is disgustingly dirty. So I go back in, and they give me a minivan that's even grosser. Like it's got food it was terrible. Don't ever go with budget. Sorry.
Oh, don't you normally go with Enterprise?
Yes, I know. I fucked up. And I never fuck up when it comes to that shit.
I'm surprised because I use budget when I go to PR and they're always on point.
But it's a whole different story in PR because, you know,
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans in business out there, it's like they're super clean.
So anyway, that happened. I ended up in the 4Runner because the other one was so gross and they had nothing else. So get to the house. Everything's fine. Then when we try to leave a couple days later, like I said, there was a slow leak. We missed the flight. And then luckily the next day I got a new car, or not the next day, the day after I got a different rental, and that car was great and I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, they fucked up. I mean, like I missed my fucking flight. So it cost me like $100 to switch everything over, which again was fine. But then I'm like hanging by the pool, just relaxing. Now I know I'm not going to leave until Thursday.
Right.
And my mom got these new floors put in the lanai, which goes out to the pool. And the cleaning ladies cleaned it with Murphy's oil soap.
Oh, God.
So I get out of the pool and I bust my ass.
So this is like a tile type floor, right?
It's like terrazzo almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can get pretty slippery when you have
I
oily
busted
things.
I have bruises all over.
I
my
see
I
body.
saw
that.
that bruise earlier.
Yeah.
He walked up in here looking like a leopard.
I was like, what the fuck? And so
Like an abused housewife.
literally not even like 15 minutes later, my sister gets out of the pool, busts her ass.
Oh, boy.
Her knee is so screwed up. The bruise is like the entire knee and it's all cut up.
Oh, my God. So needless to say that this cleaning person is fired.
No, probably not.
Well,
I mean, they probably
we need
didn't
to have a
like-
come to Jesus talk with
Oh,
her. Like,
yeah, well,
do
I
not
think-
use Murphy's oil on something that, you know.
Well, I think my mom did that, but like at the same time, I still busted my ass.
Yeah, no.
And they were horsing around in the pool, and I got water in my ear, and there's a tube that goes from your ear to your throat, and it got congested.
Is there really?
Yeah.
So how is it that we don't swallow our like, the wax that we create in our ears that our body creates?
I don't know.
Huh. Okay. But anyway, proceed.
So I ended up in urgent care.
Okay. In Florida.
Yeah, and the doctor was like, he's like, you can't fly unless you go on this because your ear is could pretty much explode or like pop.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, okay,
It wouldn't be the first time that one of your holes popped, but
valid.
okay.
But it was like so expensive. It was like $70 for my fucking ear, and the shit that was coming out of it was disgusting. I will never forget that smell. I was like, what happened to me?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty when you have an ear infection.
No.
And then you get fevers, headaches, everything hurts. You're always like groggy and Then you're on antibiotics, which means you can't drink.
No, I did not go on antibiotics. It wasn't an
A
infection.
steroids.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you still can't drink. You shouldn't drink on steroids.
Shouldn't, but you can.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like
She shouldn't, but she does.
she didn't start taking them until the day after because she wanted to drink the night before.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh.
but
Well,
yeah,
well, that's
Gotta
cool.
make it happen.
that was my wonderful trip to Florida. And then when we left, my oldest sister came with me, and she's like terrified of flying. We start taking off, and she starts bawling. And this woman next to her is just like rubbing her leg, like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
See, I would have been like, Little Latin Boy in Drag, why are you crying?
But then we got her a Xanax for the flight back, and she was just like conked out the
Conked
entire
out.
time. So that worked out. But yeah, that was my vacation.
It was adventurous, to say the least.
It was really relaxing.
And what
I
about
feel refreshed.
Yeah.
so everyone's good. Mom, dad is good. Sister's good. Aside from getting busted in the knee and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
And
that's good.
we went and saw Grandma and Grandpa's grave. I cried because, of course, I did.
Oh, excuse me. That's expected.
Yeah.
It's it's what you do when you go visit loved ones, right?
Yeah. And my family's like, my parents are trying to get all of their stuff in order with like the will and all of that stuff. And one night they were like talking to me about what they want to do when they die. And I was like, why the fuck are we talking about this right now? Like, I'm on vacation. They're like, well, you're the executive of the state. You gotta know all this shit.
You do.
And they were like, do you want my ashes when, we get cremated? I was like, what the fuck kind of question of that? Like, of course. Like, why would you ask that question? So it was just a weird fucking trip.
Well, I mean, but that.
I missed the whole thing.
Clearly.
So one night we went, me and my sister wanted to stay one night away from the family, and we got a one night at a resort right on the water, beautiful pool, like all the things, right? We show up, it's downpouring, so we can't sit by the pool. I finally get us checked in. She runs to the liquor store, comes back, and then we go to the pool because the sun came out. It's Florida,
Right.
And then we go back because it starts raining again. There's dirt in the bed.
Oh God.
There's food literally mushed into the rug.
Oh God.
And
no.
I didn't like really look when I just dropped my bag off. And there's hair in the tub.
God no. Did they give you a room they didn't clean?
I don't know. It looked when I first walked in.
Florida's dealing with a shortage of employees
Oh yeah. No. Well.
with
Thanks,
the new laws that went into
DeSantimonium.
with Trump Light's new policies. So
Yeah. No.
So anyway, we didn't stay there. We ended up going back to my sister's for another night. And I had to fight with the people. They wouldn't give me a reimbursement, so I had to like go onto my credit card and like dispute it.
Yeah.
And then they gave me all these points to make up for it. But the woman was such a bitch. She was like, well, we're fully booked. And I was like, okay, I don't want another room. I just want to be reimbursed. She's like, well, let's put you in another room. I'm like, you just said you're fully fucking booked. Like, if you're fully booked, how are you going to put me in another room? She's like, well, we'll clean your room. I was like, no, I don't want to stay in that room.
That is
late.
crazy.
Yeah.
I would have been like, nope. Bye, Felice.
It was a great trip.
No. Overall. Well, I'm proud of you because you handle yourself well in those unusual and circumstances. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
It was funny because my two sisters were in the room and they were like, we got to get out of here. Like it's gross. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't want to go fight with these people right now. Like, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to put the dad hat on and like go deal with all this. And my sister watched me walk around the room and I started taking photos and she was like, you're getting ready, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I'm going downstairs.
It's coming. Poor receptionist. That's all I got to say.
No, I ended up like talking to the GM, went through 3 people. I was like, fuck this shit. What do you mean you're not doing anything for me?
Right.
No.
See, this is why you just don't talk to just normal employees. When you walk up, the first thing you say, I need to speak to a manager.
We're fully booked. We're fully booked, so we can't reimburse you.
But let me give you another room.
What shit is that?
Yeah, what does
You're
that
fully booked. You're making money. Reimburse me. There's dirt in the fucking sheets.
mean?
And it's
Did the
not
maid make it with her
my
feet?
doing.
Did they make the bed with their feet?
Honestly, I was gonna be like Jamie, suck it up until I saw the dirt in the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's not okay.
Yeah, no.
So anyway,
well, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you at least got to see your family and, had an adventure to say the least. So cool. That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good
Yay
trip.
for Florida.
Amaze.
Mm.
Yay.
Jaybird, how are you?
Hey.
It's your
Like a
turn.
deer in the headlight.
Mm.
Not bad. I guess we'll talk about Rochester.
Let's talk about Rochester. So, before we do that, just a quick reminder that while, for the most part, gay prides here in the U.S. are thought to be, June 1st or June 30th, there are other gay prides that happen outside of the month of June. And so it is important to recognize that we celebrate Pride 365 days a year, 24/7.
Absolutely.
And in that light and in that spirit, I will let Jay tell us, about his wonderful weekend in Rochester.
Yeah,
So go for it.
Yeah, so work sponsored. So we had a couple of together and decided to come march in the Pride Parade in Rochester, New York.
Right.
So out of all the people that are part of the group, we had 2, 4, about 8 of us
Right.
that got together, and so RG, which is New York, and NICEAG,
Mm-hmm.
and then UI.
Right.
So the 3 sister companies, the people from all 3 sister companies got together and marched in the parade. I thought it was going to be something kind of small,
Right.
especially being in July.
Rochester's a big city.
There were 200 floats.
Yeah, no,
in the parade.
it's a big
a big to do.
Yeah, it is. And the beauty is that time in our company's history, we actually had a truck.
Yes.
Right, one of our
Did
trucks.
UI
Line
sponsor?
trucks. Yes. Avant-Grid.
Avant-Grid sponsored. So, on behalf of all of the sister companies that participate, so it was the first time that we had a bucket truck, right?
Yes.
Which we used to, keep the power on and blah
Lift
blah
up
blah.
the men.
Yep.
And
Brand
yes,
new truck.
yeah.
Brand spanking
And
new.
so the truck was in the parade. Employees were there engaging and having a good time. You were sending us pictures of the festival afterwards, even
Yes.
during the parade. There was a news article.
There was a news article. Some people. Yeah. I mean, there was quite a bit of stuff that was advertised. Again, I thought it was going to be a small thing, and
Right.
I've been to other parades before, and I've experienced it. We were a little underprepared, but it was the first time. Oh, hello. No,
Oh,
We
you
were
did
like-
a lot of that.
a
Didn't
lot of
you?
that. No, so I think we were a little underprepared.
Yeah.
But squared off.
Right.
We needed music, definitely. We needed music.
Yeah, and
But-
obviously, somebody should have brought a boombox with a couple of like D-cell batteries.
They
and-
should have painted the entire truck rainbow,
A rainbow.
Listen,
or get one of those.
that's not a
decals
bad
you can stick
idea.
on.
Yeah,
That's not a
yeah.
bad idea. I think that we should have a rainbow truck in every single one of our sister companies that goes around in the community and does work in the rainbow truck.
Yeah, with those
Absolutely.
hot linemen. I raise you up.
I raise you up. No, but
yeah,
overall, everything was good.
Overall, it was a good time.
Right.
Good people.
Did
Yeah,
you-
it was nice. It was fun.
Did you meet my future husband?
I met quite a few you could marry and divorce.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say no comment.
Yeah, no. He certainly met my future husband.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
We heard stories about that one.
Dear
We did.
Elsie.
No, let me stop.
Dear future husband, here's
No,
a few
great
things.
people. No, everybody, great people, well received. They treated us
How was your hotel?
exceptional. Oh, it was amazing.
It wasn't dirty like mine.
No,
No.
2 balconies. It was an executive suite.
It's fucking
It came with a
bullshit.
man.
It came with a man.
It did. It had a it was one of the hotels where
It's a pride package.
Pride
Exactly.
package. Yeah, it's a pride package.
Add a man on for $35 a night.
Yeah, you know.
Executive suite. So
We'll give you a Ken doll.
bonus, a Ken doll.
Oh, well,
Lord.
Barbie.
But it was it was fun. We had a good time.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
What?
After this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbie?
Barbie.
I cannot. I cannot.
People
Anyway.
are going crazy.
Anyway.
But all in all, yeah, we had a great time. It was fun.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And on to Tommy. How was your weekend?
My weekend was uneventful. I've been, getting stuff done. It's been extremely hot. It's been extremely stormy. We had our first bingo this last Friday. In the middle of bingo, it started storming like crazy and hailing, and I had to cover all of the electrical equipment that was out there, and we all ran. Everybody ran in the house. I stayed outside with my equipment, and all of a sudden it starts hailing and winding, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is a tornado.
Really?
Oh, it was bad.
Was it like
bad.
green outside?
It was dark, black, and stormy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy. And it was like, and then so the storm lasted for about 35 minutes. And then before you know it, it was gone. And I whip out my blower. So a lot of people use their leaf blower for leaf blowing. I use my blower for everything. I blow snow. That didn't come out right.
Yeah.
So when
No, it
snow
did.
falls,
No,
I
it
go
did.
out and I blow snow off my car, or sidewalks, etc. I use it to dry my patio when it's full of water. You just go out there and blow the water out.
Turning into Dave.
Yeah, it's like I use my blower for everything. I'm a blowing,
Multi-purpose.
I'm a one-person professional blowing machine.
So
And
Dave, the owner of the bar,
Mm-hmm.
every night before he opens the bar, he'll take his electric blower
Mm-hmm.
and go out front and just blow off all the crap from the night before into the street, turning into Dave.
yeah, pretty much. So
It's like the shame from last night.
So eventually, the storm went away. Sun came out. We got to playing bingo, and everybody was happy. And then, Saturday came, and I went and I said, okay, well, I've got some things to do. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything. So I didn't do much of anything on Saturday. And then Sunday, I decided I was going to go the hottest day of the entire week. I was going to go buy, 20 bags of mulch and come and mulch my property. Yay. And in July, right? I'm all late. But other than that, it was last night we worked. Today I was off from work, and, back to work tomorrow. And then next week is the big lipo.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
having lipo.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
Lipo on Monday.
Did I talk about my nails the last time we were on the show?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
That's so random.
Yeah.
But sure, tell us about your nails.
Okay, so before I went to Florida, I got my nails and feet done.
Oh, we
Okay.
discussed it, but I
Yeah.
don't know if we talked about it on the show.
Oh, okay.
I got
Yeah.
my feet done. I remember that.
Yeah, I got my nails and my feet done, and my normal lady wasn't there. And so I was like, normally, we do a clear coat, and she does the natural clear pink to make your nails look healthy. This bitch used pink.
Oh, she gave you
And it
ballet
was-
slippers.
It
by
was
Essie.
gel. And so, like, my nails are, like, super pink. And I was like, I didn't notice because I'm colorblind. And so I finally put my, like, sunglasses on, and I'm like, oh, my God. These are, like,
You can't really tell, to be honest.
Yeah.
if you put it next
Well,
to
look.
if you put it next to a pink shirt.
It's fine.
No, you can't really tell.
But anyway, so I put them on. I'm like,
But they
holy
look
fuck.
good.
Thank
They
you.
look good.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, and then this past weekend, I finally got my couch cushion covers back, or they finally arrived.
Right.
The right ones, because Pat had ordered the wrong ones.
Right.
And I decided to put them on in the evening with, like, my hue light setting, whatever it was. And I woke up the next day. I put on all the covers that were the wrong ones.
So you put the ones that you took off
Yeah.
all over again.
Yeah.
Hot mess.
No, I'm colorblind, and I couldn't tell. And so like the next day, I woke up and the sun was shining, and I was like, "Oh,
But wait a
fuck."
minute. When you took them off, did you not set them aside and say these aren't the correct ones, and let me open the ones that
I
are
did.
sealed in a bag?
I did, but what I didn't do. This is what had happened.
Well, okay.
Okay, so what had happened was I got the new the covers, and I threw them on the couch next to the old ones that I hadn't mailed back yet because I was waiting for the new ones. And they were all sealed up.
Right.
So I'm opening them up. I'm like, I didn't order this many of them. Why do I have so many? And I'm
You
realizing
used all the wrong ones again.
I used all the fucking wrong ones. I literally almost texted you that night and like, do you need a new cover? Because I have like an extra couple covers. The next morning I wake up and I'm like, oh no, that's wrong.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah.
You know, you got to send those back.
Dude, it's a struggle being colorblind. Like,
Clearly. Clearly. Speaking of color and blindness, can we, before we go on break, can we quickly talk about this Barbie craze?
okay,
Am I the only one that's annoyed at this?
I guess.
I don't really pay it attention, but yeah, it's
It's
getting
like-
a little out of hand.
It's like, well, first things first. I love the movie Barbie only because it's pissing off the right wing, like nut jobs, right? Because there's a transgender person in the movie,
They're grooming people.
right? But it's Barbie, and you have some grown ass motherfucking adults going bananas over Barbie, and like, last I checked, we always went crazy over Ken, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, you grew up with it, right? So it's like me and Harry Potter. Like, my family was giving me shit because on Thanksgiving we're all going to Orlando, and we're having Thanksgiving there. And I was like, I want to spend a day or two at Universal. I want to go to Harry Potter World. And they're like, Nick, you're fucking 36 years old. I'm like, one, I'm 35. And two, like, I grew up on that shit.
Harry fucking Potter.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, so
I want to get my wand, motherfucker.
And he's a daddy now.
Yes, he is.
And he's got a nice dick.
Daddy Potter.
Oh my God. I can't say that with a straight face thinking that it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But Daniel Radcliffe, yes, he's got a beautiful penis. No, I don't know. Anyway, no, my thing is this. It's just like literally there was a grown ass that, oh my God, I downloaded the whole album and I just listened to all the songs. And then there was another person who came in with pink hair.
My sister had a whole, like, Barbie outfit.
Again,
Really?
whatever
Oh, yeah.
floats your boat. But I was like, come on, people. It's a fucking Barbie movie. Maybe it's because what's his name from The Notebook is in it.
What is his name? Why am I blanking?
Ryan
Efron?
Gosling?
Yeah.
Ryan.
I mean,
Gosling.
maybe.
Ryan.
He is
Gosling?
hot as hell.
He is, and he looked really as Ken, and then obviously Margot Robbie, is that her name? She plays Barbie, and
She was great.
there's a couple of other people that are in the movie. America Ferrera's in the movie.
Yeah.
A couple of
I
other.
was like, where's she been?
I know,
Welcome
right?
back.
Yes, hello, welcome back. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I love her. She will always be my Betty La Fea,
Yeah.
right? Ugly Betty.
I love that show.
Yeah, she was Ugly Betty for years. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, come on. Like, I get if you're like 12, 13 and you want to go see Barbie, great. It's like,
Yeah, but all
apparently,
these people that grew up on it, like, come on, you like, why not?
you're right. Why not? But apparently it's like this movie has the highest grossing opening weekend for a movie that was directed by a woman. So apparently, and I'm looking for the figure. I know this.
It's decent.
Oh, where are you? I know it's in here. Barbie makes history for women direct. And apparently it generated well over $162 million in North America. Which was co Woman by director Patty Jenkins.
Wow.
And $103 million during the first weekend in 2017. So it's important to put it in context. We are talking about movies and breaking records directed by women.
Well, it's funny because now they can pay Ryan.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they got to pay him. You know?
So when you Google the Barbie movie on Google, the
Right.
whole screen pops up, and there's this pink stars that pop up on your screen, and the Google sign is all pink. Everything's fucking pink on that.
Yeah, it's
I think
it's-
that's your computer.
yeah, and I don't like pink, but you know, It is what it
God.
is.
I don't mind a little
Pink is not my color.
Now that my sister is having a baby girl, like everything is going to be pink. This girl is going to be born with heels, like nails done, like face done. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I can't. But the only good thing is that this Ken, our live screen Ken, has a penis.
And he can marry me. If he wants.
Well, that's
I'm
true.
putting it out there.
That's true. All right, well, listen, that was a great chat, the first half of the show, but we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we do have more dish that we have to cover, so we will be right back.
Ryan.
All right, ladies and gents, well, we are back from our break. Thank you so much for allowing us to take that little break. We just needed that to refresh all of our, the good juices. But we are back, and we're ready to jump in and talk a little bit about some of the stories that we have lined up for you. So, Trishy Poo, do you want to start first, or should I?
You can go.
Okay, fine. Then I will go. So, one of the first stories that we have teed up for you is... Grindr. Yes, grind her. Nobody knows her. I don't know who she is. But anyway, so, I am a union employee. You are a union employee now. And, more and more so in today's environment, we're understanding how important unions are to ensuring job security and, making sure that as an employee, you are valued for the work that you do and get paid accordingly for the work that you do. Not many people agree in this great nation that, unions should exist when it comes to employment, but a lot of people fail to realize that we live in one of the biggest and most successful unions in human history, right? And when you think about the fact that we are a union of 50 states operating and legislating and at times horribly, nonetheless, we are a union, right? And so that concept has been adopted by a lot of employee or organizations that would like to unionize to protect employees and to ensure that employees are being treated fairly and paid accordingly for the work that they do. And recently, Grindr, so Grindr is a company, right? It is what people refer to as an app where, it's a hookup app or an app where you go
Jay,
meet.
can you tell us about Grindr?
Yeah, tell us what it is.
Yeah, it's an application.
You can download
Yeah.
your phone.
No.
No comment.
No comment.
So it is an
It's
application.
the same thing as
yeah.
Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, plenty of fish. Oh, do you have plenty of fish on your phone?
I
No.
do.
Okay. So it is
A dating, it's quote unquote dating app, like many
Right.
other quote unquote
Yeah.
dating
right,
apps.
like
For
Truth
example-
Social. No, it's not like Truth Social. What's the other one that people
Bumble,
Bumble, and then there is
Tinder,
Tinder.
Yeah,
But
that's the
there,
other one.
what's the straight one where you swipe left?
Bumble.
Is it Bumble? No.
Yeah.
No, but
Tinder's
there's
the one you swipe left or
Tinder.
right.
Yeah, so
Tinder
Right?
and Bumble, yeah.
Tinder.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very Tinder-ish.
Except for like you have horny now. Hey, what's up?
yeah.
Not much, man.
But nonetheless, it is it's an app. It's obviously technology, and right now we're starting to see a lot of different employers of technological companies or app companies start laying off people. And employees at the gay hookup app Grindr announced on Thursday that they had launched the union. And they also did so in part, they say, due to the company's CEO, George Arrison's prior backing of anti-LGBTQ plus politicians. So here you have a app it's strictly LGBTQ plus. It is specifically for the gay community to connect with other people, whether that's for sex, whether that's for companionship, whether that's for dating. But it is
Look, normally it's for sex, but I do know some people that have like actually found their
Right.
person.
but and yes, and you can. Hey, listen, you can hit it off with anybody. That could happen anywhere. So it's important to realize that this could be a very useful app for people in our community, but it is for our community, and you have a CEO that's actually
backing a Republican.
backing people who support anti-LGBTQ plus, initiatives. But anyway, in a press release through a labor union, Communications Workers of America, the employees said that the supermajority of workers at the company had announced the creation of the Grindr United, with CWA. Approximately 100 eligible members of a union signed representation cards at Grindr. Grindr United members come from departments across the companies, including cloud engineering, customer engineering, design engineering, IT marketing, privacy, product, and quality assurance. So it's a very, very, very cumbersome process when you want to unionize. You just recently went through this.
A year and change.
Can we generically, very generically, talk about that process and what it's like to not have all of your coworkers, for example, on board, right?
Correct. So technically, the way it works is, in order for, you have to start the conversation somewhere, right?
Right.
So a lot of times there are changes in management, or there's changes within the company itself. And, a lot of the times you start questioning, job stability,
Right.
Especially when something like this with Grindr happened, right? So now you're questioning whether this is going to remain the same, or if there's going to be changes that will put your livelihood at risk.
Right.
So, it's just like anything else. You start the conversation, right?
So are they doing this because of the CEO?
Probably, I think it may be in part.
It's a combination of a lot of things, right? You have the head of a company who's supporting anti-LGBTQ plus,
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's
initiatives
weird.
and
so
people.
he's a gay right winger. So that's where it falls at.
Right, and then you have employees
So,
that
a
are like,
contradiction.
Yeah.
he's an oxymoron.
Yeah. So you start,
Although
having,
I don't think that's what an oxymoron is, right?
It kind of is.
It
Yeah.
kind of is.
Yeah.
But the issue here is that they're threatening with laying off employees.
Yeah.
And cutting down workforce, and and for such a platform that it is global.
But honestly, like, they have the opportunity right now, if they're going to do this, to like create a union for all apps.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's possible. So, for example, let's say Grindr decides, let's say that the unionization, that was a lot, of Grindr employees is successful, and they go through and they vote and they are officially unionized. That means that they can bargain for, insurance, for rights, for pay, for job security. It could turn into a situation where other dating apps that are similar in nature could join that union.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole thing, right? But in a statement,
that would be a creation of a whole new union.
Yes.
All
Yes.
together.
yes,
Because you have a electrical workers union and the pipe fitters and
right. You have gas unions. There's so
yeah,
many different types. The writers and actors have their own union. We're seeing
True.
the negotiations breaking down and things happening right now as we speak, right? And you see the
with
power.
the Writers Guild, right? Writers
Exactly.
Guild, yeah.
You see the power of unions, and you work with unions in the theater community, so you know how important it is to be on good standing with union individuals and making sure that you do things right as a management person,
And that you don't do their job.
No, I will say some of the rules that I've dealt with, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
well, it's
But the thing is, like, every time you see a rule that you're like, why? Somebody went through that.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so they fight for that. And that's the whole purpose, is to be able to collectively bargain for your right as an employee in a company. And so I 100% support, their right to unionize. And I hope that they're successful, because that means that with a certain, protections, right? You have representatives that represent you, that speak on your behalf, that will fight for you. They said, that the reason why they were unionizing is to protect their current benefits that would be maintained through a collective contract. Employees will also push for gift matching, a professional development budget, and cost of living pay increases that match annual inflation. According to the release, they also want clear severance protocols in case of layoffs. So, I hope that they are successful, and I think the reason why I brought this up is because I myself am a union employee, and I value the protection that comes with that, but I also value the fact that when I do my job, I'm being paid accordingly.
Correct.
Right? And some people don't agree, but it's like you can't live on $15 an hour anymore. And the fact that unions fight for and negotiate collectively for better salaries, for better insurance, for better
Yeah, and a lot of companies will drag it out.
Right.
They have a year to negotiate the contract, and some companies will drag it out the entire year.
Right.
I find it interesting though, like a lot of so they're saying professional development, right? Cost of living, which everybody should get that, and it should be based on your state, which a lot of companies don't do.
Right.
But they're also pushing for gift matching, which is interesting because that doesn't really directly help an employee, but it helps the nonprofit that they're giving money to.
Right.
So basically, they're saying if I give $100, you're going to give $100 or whatever it is. Like that's very interesting that they would also include that in the negotiations.
Well, our company matches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do have a program that we use a service called Benevity, and they have a list of hundreds of companies that you can donate to, and then the company will go through and match up to a certain percentage of your contributions to said company. And it is important to be able to negotiate things like that because you want your dollar to
go as far as it can,
and be able to maximize helping communities and people that are in need.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people that are working for Grindr are donating to LGBTQ plus causes.
Right.
So like every dollar counts.
Yeah, but think about it. The majority of their advertisement dollars come from are targeted towards LGBTQ plus people, right? You're talking about, for example, a lot of the commercials that you see or the advertisement that you see for PrEP or for some of the newer drugs that are out and about. Some of the HIV campaigns that are being done, the majority of them happen through these apps, right? Which is incredibly important work, right? We can't.
And if you've been on Grindr recently, like you have like 15 or 20 people that you can look at before they're like, pay for a subscription.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? You're making plenty of money.
So what I do in this case is I start blocking people that I'm just not interested in so I can get that number of people in my list. And if the other 15 that I just blocked don't meet my standards, then I block them too so I can get another 15. So, and that's basically how you get around that.
Well, Danny's a verse top, and he just sent me a message.
Oh, read the message. What does it say?
Hi.
Ready to bottom.
It says Little Latin Boy
Ready to
Drag.
bottom.
No, it says hi.
Hi. And so you say, hey, how are you?
Nah.
Nah.
No
meh.
face pic.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
Just-
by the way, I'm not gay. That's what you gotta respond.
By the way, I'm not gay. I'm just
not gay,
looking.
I'm just looking.
I'm just looking for milk. But anyway, that's Grindr in a nutshell. So my hope for them, for these employees that are fighting, to be able to unionize is that they are successful and they have the majority. So at this point, it's almost a done deal. It's just a matter of seeing how quick.
Going through the process.
Right.
And it's just as time consuming as
Right.
the company decides to make it.
Right.
And usually they tend to do that to try and get people to break.
Right.
No, I've been through
And
negotiations.
back out
It's not fun.
out of that. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
never fun. It's never fun,
Yeah.
but they're necessary.
But it's interesting because, like, for me, you work with these people daily.
Yes.
You have good relationships with people. But then when you sit in that room, it's like
It's like you want to go for their jugular
it's
for no
insane.
reason.
It's like when you individually, when you're not in a union, fight for a fucking raise.
Right. And you know what kills me is the majority of these people, when they're making these arguments and fighting unions for better wages, you're literally fighting to protect money that doesn't even belong to you. Like, I understand fiscal responsibility for a company. You have a responsibility to your shareholders, blah, whatnot, to ensure that you are using your resources wisely, correctly, and making sure that you're not spending. But when it comes to the employees that make your business, that's not where you want to skimp.
No.
That's not where you want to fight. No. And it's weird that, you see a group of executives, going out there and trying to negotiate a package, but coming at you like they're literally trying to attack your character, who you are, what you're all about, just because
your work ethic. But also, you look at the discrepancy from executive level to the level below, right?
Oh, it's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Like, if they were to just, if the money was so tight that, they can't give the union what they want, then fucking figure out how you're going to cut your salary.
Exactly.
And your bonus.
Exactly. And none of that happens, right? But it's always at the expense of the little guy, right? So there's a saying, and I say this often. I'm like, listen, I'm just a little guy at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm the peon at the bottom of the totem pole, right? If somebody pees from above, it's going to work its way down, and I'm the one that catches it all. So, it is what it is. And you're right. There's a huge discrepancy between, the executive pay versus what other individuals are making in the company. And they fail to realize that, these individuals that work hard every day, day in, day out, that do the operations type of work are the ones that are keeping the companies afloat. So take care of your employees.
According to a Google search, at Grindr, the most compensated executive makes $500,000 annually. And the lowest compensated employees make $34,000.
Right.
That's crazy.
So look at the difference.
It's a massive difference, right? And if you take, really,
that's over 400%.
If you take $34,000 and you divide that by, divide by 26 weeks, let's say they get paid every 2 weeks, your paycheck is not even $1,300. So that's not even a rent.
The execs are making about $95 an hour.
Right. So it's pretty crazy, right? God, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, look, like, I've worked in nonprofit my entire life, and to be honest with you, all of the nonprofits I've worked at, every single person that was an executive or above me always had to report their salary because of how much more they made. I remember when I was working at a place somewhere,
right,
I was making $350 a week. I just finished my internship. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane the difference.
That's why my card got declined on my first date with Paul. And he had to pay.
Well, at least he paid. But anyway, the moral of the story is it's not a bad thing, and we hope that they make it. It's almost a guaranteed thing. They have the numbers. They voted. They want to unionize. It's all a matter of getting a contract. So good luck to them. And if you are successful, then we'll be fellow brothers and sisters of unions, and we all take care of each other. And if you ever go on strike, we shall be there to support you.
Yes.
So, because that's how we do.
Also, get rid of your CEO.
Yeah. For real.
She got to go.
Yeah, she got to go. She got to go. All right, Trish, over to you.
All right. So, funny enough. Out of Florida.
Oh, God. Yeah, here we go again.
So, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the coach, came out as gay. And he is believed to be the first out male coach in professional men's sports.
in men's sports. Okay, but what kind of sports? Is this football, baseball,
It's football.
basketball? Football.
It's football.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So he came out and he basically said, I don't want to feel like I have to think about it anymore. I don't want to feel like I have to lie about who I'm seeing and who I'm living with.
Good for him.
But also, it's in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right. In the state of Florida.
When all of this crap is going on,
Right.
for him to decide to make this statement now,
Right.
it's huge.
In one of the most heteronormative,
Sports.
Yeah. It's a big thing, and it makes a big statement. However, I fear that there's going to be a lot of backlash for him in that state, given the current temperature and what DeSantimonium is doing, or his attempts to literally eradicate and belittle our community in a way that is just so disgusting.
What I will say is that I do feel as though he has the team support behind him,
Which is good, but
and we have to remember that like a lot of these players are not from Florida, right? They're recruited,
Right.
So they could have a liberal background. They could be socially liberal, but also fiscally, conservative. But it does say that one of the players said that he's looking forward to seeing Kevin next week at training camp and hopes that he comes to work each day during camp and through the season feeling confident, free, and at peace. I know our players and staff feel the same way.
Well, one thing you can't do, though, honey, is, show displays of affection or PDAs, public displays of affection with your partner in the state of Florida, because you might, end up getting arrested for exposing children to inappropriate things. It's fucking crazy. It drives me bonkers, the fact that we can get married in the US of A, but you can't go to the state of Florida and hold hands with the person that you love in front of children because you might be indoctrinating kids.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can, but it's sort of kind of where he wants to go with this whole crap he's trying to pull.
Yeah,
Right?
no.
What did you call him? Trump light? Trump light.
But I also I think it's really special that in this moment he felt confident with his friends, his colleagues, and his peers and his family
Right.
to actually come out and do this and make a huge fucking statement
Right.
in the state of Florida. And on top of that, too, he went to Western Connecticut, where I went.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
That
it's
explains it.
that's quite. You're right. It's quite a bold statement. Nonetheless, I'm sure it's going to be very impactful in today's conversation of things that are going on in Florida, where they're trying to suppress the vote, the voices of LGBTQ plus people, transgender people, Black and brown people. They just approved a curriculum just recently that is just absolutely insane on how you can, refer to Black history and how it is presented. It is absolutely fucked up.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
I
fucked
know.
up. Things that are going on in Florida is just fucked up. And, as long as I can help it, I will not give them my money until, all of that shit is reversed. So Florida for me as a vacation destination is just out of the question.
Well, clearly you don't have a vacation when you go to Florida. I'm beaten. I'm bruised. I need to heal.
Well,
Take a hint.
well, that's, yeah, hello.
That was like the universe being like, you're a homo. Stay in liberal states.
Right. Well, that's only because you went to see your family. See, if you go on vacation, you got to go on vacation and not
I get beaten.
associate with anyone that you've ever grown up with and lived with.
It's funny because, reading this article, he's been with his partner for Nick, actually.
His name is Nick.
His
How
partner.
tragic.
Yep. I know. Sorry. He's probably crazy. For 2 years. So all I could think in my head was if that Nick was anything like me, he was probably like, do it or I'm leaving.
Or I'm gone.
I'm not wrong. He's like, I want.
You better do something.
You better do something.
This state is fucked up. You better do this or you're not getting the booty anymore.
Ain't that the truth?
And then she did.
Ain't that the truth? That's fucking nuts.
Oh, did I mention his name?
Yeah.
Kevin Maxen.
Kevin Maxen.
Yeah.
So I think that, applause is due. We got to give him love for Mr. Kevin Maxen. Fabulous. All right. Well, one of our last stories that we're going to cover today hits closer to home. It actually is a story that comes to us from what I'm starting to think is not so great state of Connecticut. It has to do with our state troopers, right? Our state police division, and some of the tactics that they have been using to erroneously
That was a big word.
yes, alter,
Askew.
eschew documents
Reports,
or tickets or reports of citations that they have been issuing, thousands of citations that they have been issuing in the state, and changing the information on these tickets to reflect so that they wouldn't get flagged for being racist, right? We've had a couple of stories in history in the state, especially for example, knew the police department was very racist, and they were specifically targeting minority, black and brown people in those towns, and racial profiling. So as a result of that, and some other counties that we have in our state, the state passed a law that it is required when a state trooper or a police department issues a citation that they have to note the ethnicity of the person that they're pulling over.
That feels weird, though. Like, how can you force somebody to tell you their ethnicity, or are they being like, oh, they look black?
So the person can abstain from telling you, but you as an officer of the law are supposed to document what you believe this individual is. And the whole purpose of that law was to avoid situations in where police officers and state troopers were racially profiling minorities in this state, because it was a big problem, especially in a town like East Haven. It was very, very, very bad. Like, to the point where as a Hispanic, you wouldn't even want to drive in East Haven, because they would pull you over for nothing. You didn't do anything, but you're brown or you're black, we're pulling you over and we'll find something. So the state passed a law, actually quite a while back, that said, on the citation, it needed to disclose the ethnicity of the individual being cited. So what happens is now the state troopers in the state of Connecticut have been found to have been issuing citations, thousands of them, and changing the ethnicity of the individuals that they were pulling over from black or brown to white, so that they could eschew the numbers that are reported by law to the state. So that
they were real tickets, but they said that the people were.
They were
false and real.
Yeah, false.
So it's a combination of both.
So
but the majority, there were about 26,000 tickets that were fake tickets. So they didn't really issue a ticket to a person.
So then who paid for them?
Don't know.
So the individuals that are being cited would pay for their tickets, but when they had their tickets written out, let's say I was a brown person, it would say I was white.
Right, but he's saying that there were tickets that were written that weren't actually given out.
So the state did an audit,
right,
as they're supposed to, and the audit an audit of the Connecticut State Police was revealed that hundreds of troopers falsified almost 26,000 traffic tickets.
Right.
In a total, the audit found that the number of false records during a 5-year period could be as high as 58,553.
Right.
Out of 1,300 troopers, 311 of them had statistically significant numbers of discrepancies. One specific officer had logged 1,350 fake tickets between the 2014 and 17.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess they're issuing tickets, but they're not getting paid.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
Here's part of the problem, right?
So,
every year they have to hit a certain amount of tickets that they distribute.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And so if you look at it percentage-wise, they probably were doing it to protect their ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Which that,
the fact that you have to have a quota
For
For
tickets,
tickets,
is
right.
is one of the bigger problems, right?
It's-
That's
Right.
an underlying issue.
It's like having a call center and you're required to make so many sales within a month,
Right.
right? So that's basically
Well, it's a little different.
yeah, no, because it kind of falls in the same
But-
pretext.
but-
Because if you look at it, you know, if you want to make the extra monies at the end of the year, you need to hit this quota, right? So the state is trying to bring in that extra revenue. So they're writing up tickets. Now, I don't know how the whole fake ticket thing works out in the system, but it probably shows that they're supposed to issue X amount of tickets within the timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
So every year they have to hit a certain amount.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they've issued throughout the year, you know, if they look at their docket and they've issued, I don't know, 25% to Hispanic, 25% to African Americans, 15 or 20% to white people, they're going to write these fake tickets because otherwise they're going to get fucked. So the one of the bigger problems and the underlying issue is there shouldn't be like
A quota for tickets.
A quota.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, then again, they should not be writing fake tickets and they shouldn't be giving out tickets to people of color just because.
Right.
Like, I'm
And then
not
changing their
disputing
race
that
on
at
the
all.
ticket just to hide the fact that that's what they're doing. Right.
Right.
There's a lot of deception and clearly like fraud that's happening when it comes to trying to get, you know, funding because you have to meet your quota. So here's the thing that
And it's also kind of fucked up to think that the state itself is like, well, any state says you have a quota you have to make so that we have income.
that's my point exactly. So the thing is, why would you set a quota? Let's say we have to issue because we issued 90,000 tickets last year. This year we have to issue 100,000. Why? If people are behaving on the road and they're doing what they're supposed to, and crime is down, and you know people are not breaking the law, that should be a good thing.
Sounds like you know building a budget off of previous numbers. Like if I raise a certain amount of money, my budget goes up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I meet my goal and or exceed, my budget goes up.
Right.
That should not how that.
Not in law enforcement.
No,
Because you're a police officer to ensure that the laws of this nation and this state are abide by. And if no one's breaking the law, then why should you have a quota that makes you do shady shit like this to make your numbers look good just so that you can meet a quota?
Yeah, and in my opinion, while I think this is really fucked up, I think the state put our officers in that situation. But
they put themselves
it also
too.
seems really sketchy that they're changing ethnicities. Like,
Right.
so clearly there is some racial bias.
Yes. That's the main problem with this audit, right? So the whole thing stems out of, for example, as mentioned, the Tracking Curtailing of Racial Profiling, Connecticut's Alvin W. Penn Act requires officers to record the racial identity of all subjects of a traffic stop. Many of the falsified tickets listed the race as white, skewing the racial profiling data to appear as if black people were not being disproportionately targeted. Right. And so you could have a very significant number of tickets
That
for
are actually
black individuals that were listed as white just so that they could not get in trouble for racially profiling or break that law. Right. And so you're putting our law enforcement individuals in a situation where they now have to get creative.
Yeah. So they could walk up to a vehicle and it could be a Latino man, brown person, and they automatically write it as white.
Right. I mean, for you, they would probably just say psycho on the ticket, but that's a whole different story.
No, they would just say walked away.
Walked away. Like, leave it alone. No, but it's
Saw
kind of
her,
fucked
walked
up.
away.
I said, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to pull you over."
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing though that this is what we end up with as a result of.
It just shows how the system continually tends to work or try to work around getting in trouble while they continue the same habits.
Yeah, no.
So the laws are put in place to break those habits and to avoid that profiling, and they always find a way to work around it. And I think this audit, and everything's so under the microscope.
I wonder how they figured out that these falsified tickets were actually people of color.
Well, if you're falsifying the ticket, that means the tickets are not getting paid, right?
Right.
So when you question why there's 26,000 unpaid tickets and no follow up. You ever get a ticket for parking or anything for that matter from a last time I got it, it's been ages.
Yes, I've got it.
Not got simulated wood, but if you don't pay, what happens? It doubles.
Yeah. No,
Right?
actually, it's
So-
it's funny because I got a ticket. I was driving to pick up people at work when I was the company manager at Long Wharf, and it was early. I was tired, and it was kind of like a divided highway, but not really. And a bus had stopped 4 lanes, and I just kept driving. And I saw the cop pull out. I pulled right over. That fucking hefty ticket. That ticket was heavy. That was a big ass ticket.
Some
And
tickets seem
they put
excessive.
down I was
right?
black, and I was like, "What? I don't get it." And then I go to court. And I'm sitting there, and
I cannot wear her.
I'm
You're fired.
well, I went to court. I'm sitting there, and I finally get up there. And right before I go up, there's this guy, Hispanic guy, that got a ticket for driving without a license and without insurance. And, well, how'd you get here today? And he goes, I drove. And the judge was like, well, do you have your insurance and your license? And he was like, didn't your friend drop you off, buddy?
Yeah.
Come on.
No,
like you're there.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's very common.
so to add to the conversation, you know, it's important to recognize that while the audit did not investigate a possible motive, by one officer is all supremacist dog whistle. As the ADL explains, the number 13 refers to the reported percentage of U.S. population that is African American. Large percentage of all murders committed in the U.S. that are committed by African Americans.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy, and this is Connecticut. It's a blue state, right? And you know, we've said this before. You know, we live in a blue state, but you know,
More purple, but
don't sleep on the fact that you know these people exist everywhere, and we have to keep our eyes
Different shades
open.
of blue.
Right.
Different shades of blue.
Yeah, I would say definitely different
Yeah.
shades of blue. But it's concerning because you know, as a Latino, as two Latinos sitting on this table,
By
and a white
default?
person over here, would you be considered Latino because you're?
I mean,
you're
all my friends are
Italian?
Puerto Rican. Your mom calls me fat.
Yeah, you're
Gordo,
you're
gordo.
Latino by
Gordito.
association. I feel like you would get pulled over just for having me in the car.
Yeah.
No, that's not happened yet.
I rarely drive with you though. You're more in my car than I am ever in yours.
That's bullshit.
Yes, it is. When we go on trips, who drives?
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah. The majority of the time that we've ever gone somewhere together, you've always been in my car.
Yeah,
There
short
have been
trips. I
3
usually do.
times that you drive when we go to like the supermarket or, you know,
Something like that.
It's
Yeah.
more than 3.
yeah.
I
Or
put in
more.
for that mileage.
Yeah. She didn't get paid for it though.
No.
But you know, it's scary. And
GayTalk
so
Union sucks.
yeah. Do you guys want to unionize?
No. That's too much work.
Yeah. Well, there's only 3 of us, so all it takes is just 2 to say
I
yes.
heard HR's a bitch.
Yeah. We got to contact Elsie.
Also, not
Dear
Elsie. Don't say
Elsie.
I called Elsie a bitch, please.
Oh God, I'm gonna
She's
tell
on her
her.
way to Canada. She's gonna call and kick my ass.
She will.
You know what?
She's
Might not
on-
be a bad thing. Might
She's
not
on
be a
her
bad
way
thing.
to Canada, by the way.
Oh, she's
That's
going
how
to
she
Canada.
Road tripping it.
And she didn't call Chris. Oh, she's in trouble. Anyway, it's been a very great conversation. A lot of things going on. Keep your eyes open. Don't fall asleep. Shit happens when people don't pay attention. So keep your eyes open. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our wrapping it up. We gotta get off the air. It's been a while. So I'm gonna toss it over to Trish. Trish, here you go.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Queen.
All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, California buys inclusive textbooks for school district with anti-LGBTQ plus board and sends them the bill.
Yas, Queen.
Proud of them. Number 2, Charles Barkley, F-bomb, hot take on Bud Light controversy is exactly what allies need to say. Number 3, Ron DeSantimonium
Yes, ma'am.
loses again as judge refuses to reinstate Florida's drag ban.
As they should. As they should. So it's either Ron DeSantimonium or
Trump light.
there you go.
I have to say though, my dad, who was kind of a Trumper, he's like, when I was down there, he was like, I'm not going to vote for Ron DeSantis. I'm not going to vote for Trump. They're fucking crazy. He's like, I'm not voting for Biden. I'll figure it out. But like the fact that he's not voting for those two, I was like, what the? Okay, Carl.
Okay, well,
You're catching on.
make him vote for Biden. He'll get that.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Like,
happen,
we're gonna
but-
cut. We're gonna go down there and have a Carl intervention.
Carl intervention.
Carl, sit down by the pool.
No,
We're
I'm
gonna
actually
give you some
nervous for you
cocktails.
to meet him
Why?
because you guys are gonna get into a fight.
No. Well, I would respect your father. He's your dad. I would keep my mouth shut. I do know how to respect my elders in most cases. So, yeah.
Moving on.
So let's schedule a dinner. All right, J-Bird.
Alrighty, so July 24th, 2013, on this day in gay history, where Maryland Quist app release.
Quest.
Quist.
Quist.
What's
So
Do you know what the Quest app is?
No.
It is
The
the app
Quest-
where we get this information from.
The Quist mobile app created by Sarah Prager and coded by Natural Fusion, now renamed Web Adaptive, is released in the Apple and Android app stores as a free app. Quist, short for Queer History, teaches about LGBTQ history. Anyone can submit a missing historical event to Quist using the link below. It is the first year of what? It is the first
In its
In
first
its
year.
in its first year. It was downloaded almost 18,000 times in over 100 countries.
Right.
Thank you for being a Quist user.
Including Gay Talk. So
I didn't realize Quist was queer history. That makes so much
history, okay.
sense.
Quest, queer history.
It's like brunch, only
Yeah.
Quest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a compound word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mira que nice.
Mira que nice, right? That's what I said.
Gordita.
Gordita.
Oh my God.
All right, and moving on to our announcements. Oh boy.
These you've read before, so you better get this one.
If you love the show, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest, the greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published.
I write tongue twisters.
You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
Trisha?
Nick, over to you.
I'm trying. I'm just stuck.
Get the method.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's
All
what
right,
it was.
everybody, get the Future Method and all other products
Motherfucker.
today. All products are doctor developed,
Interns.
can clean out without hurting your bum. Take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs, and now increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal dilation kit. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
Yes, Queen. You better work, Miss Thing. All right. Jaybird, is it still you?
Yes, it is me. It is time to put a ring on it. And our show is available on our website, GayTalk2.0.
You know, I just have to say, when you put a ring on it, doesn't that generally just start it back over?
Yes, it does.
All right, let's put it.
It's like when you go to Hawaii and you say aloha. It's like it means hello and goodbye.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
So, like, how do you end a conversation in Hawaii?
Aloha and walk away.
If you're anything like my friend Damaris, rest in peace, whenever we had a conversation, she never said goodbye. She would just hang up the phone.
That would annoy the fuck out of me.
Oh my God, I
love
would
that
kill
about
someone.
her. So it'd be like, "Hey, we're meeting up at 5. Yeah, see you at 5." Click.
Rude.
So she never said goodbye.
Never, ever did she ever say goodbye to anyone on the phone.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I used to be
questionable.
like, "I love that about you." She goes, "Conversation's over. What else is there to say?" So-
Goodbye.
Aloha.
yeah, aloha.
You can say aloha, hello, and goodbye.
But yes. Anyways, here we go. Let's start this all over again. Our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher Radio.
All right. You can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, you're going to fuck it up.
All right. And if you need to reach out to us, you just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast, or kill this bitch right here. You can also leave us a question via voice message.
Look, I've got my gay Yankees hat on. You can't kill me today.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, God. You can also call us and leave us your questions via voice message. You can do so by calling 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live whenever the hell we feel like it at this point. And you can access the show live stream by visiting GayTalk20.com/live stream. And as always, I want to thank you all for joining us on today's show. Ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you. And have a good night. Bye.
Proud of you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of GayTalk 2.0. Tune in next time